Frozen CQRATs. Dr. Maya Chen's breath crystallized in the frigid Arctic air as she stared at her equipment in disbelief. The readings couldn't be right. She double-checked the calibration, then triple-checked it. The anomaly remained. "Hey, Raj," she called to her research partner. "Come look at this." Dr. Rajesh Patel trudged through the snow, his thick boots crunching with each step. He'd been working with Maya for 3 years on climate research, drilling ice cores to track historical temperature patterns. Today was supposed to be routine. "What's up?" he asked, peering over her shoulder at the ground-penetrating radar display. That, Maya pointed to the unmistakable geometric pattern buried beneath 200 feet of ice. "That's not natural." The structure was massive, at least 300 feet long, with perfect symmetry that nature simply didn't create. More puzzling were the energy readings, faint but persistent electromagnetic pulses that no known natural phenomenon could explain. Within 48 hours, their small research station had transformed into a bustling operation. The Norwegian government, which controlled this sector of the Arctic, had dispatched military personnel. The Americans and Russians weren't far behind, sending scientific consultants who carried themselves like special forces. Maya fought to maintain control of her discovery. "This is a scientific find, not a military one," she insisted during a tense meeting in the hastily erected command tent. Colonel Anders of the Norwegian Armed Forces studied her with measured patience. "Dr. Chen, I understand your position, but when an unknown object of this size and composition is discovered, national security protocols activate automatically. At least let my team lead the initial exploration," she countered. "We know the ice conditions. We can get in and out safely." After hours of debate, a compromise was reached. Maya would leave a small team, herself, Raj, and 2 military specialists with scientific backgrounds. They would make first contact with whatever lay beneath the ice. The drilling operation took 3 days. As they broke through the final layer of ice, Maya's heart raced. The cavity they'd created revealed a smooth metallic surface, unlike any material she'd ever seen. It had a faint bluish sheen and seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "It's warm to the touch," reported Lieutenant Karina Larsen, the Norwegian military engineer on their team. "Approximately 15 degrees Celsius despite being encased in ice for who knows how long." Captain David Monroe, the American consultant, ran a specialized scanner over the surface. "No radiation, no biological hazards that we can detect." Maya approached the object, drawn by a scientist's natural curiosity. As her gloved hand made contact with the surface, a vibration rippled through the material. Before anyone could react, a seam appeared, perfectly straight, extending 10 feet in either direction. "Everyone back," Monroe shouted, raising his sidearm instinctively. The section of hull receded inward, then slid aside with silent precision, revealing a dark passage. Emergency lights flickered automatically along the walls, illuminating a corridor that curved gently out of sight. "My God," Raj whispered. "It's a ship." The team cautiously entered, their headlamps cutting through shadows that hadn't seen light in decades. The air inside was perfectly preserved, cool and odorless. "The architecture is," Maya struggled to find the right words, "not human." The corridors were wider than necessary, with unusual proportions. Doorways stood nearly 8 feet tall, but narrower than would be comfortable for human shoulders. Most striking was the complete absence of corners. Every intersection curved organically, every surface flowing seamlessly into the next. They discovered what appeared to be a control center, a circular room with workstations arranged in a pattern that resembled flower petals around a central column. As they entered, dormant systems began to hum with renewed energy. "We should go," Monroe insisted, his military training overwhelming his scientific curiosity. "Report back and wait for a properly equipped team." But it was too late. The central column illuminated, projecting a holographic interface that coalesced into a humanoid form, translucent, genderless, with features that seemed deliberately calibrated to appear non-threatening to human psychology. "Welcome," it spoke in perfect English. "I am HFY, Autonomous Research and Interface Assistant for the Novan Science Vessel Horizon. My systems detect that 70.3 Earth years have passed since emergency protocols were initiated. Are you the recovery team?" The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Not only had they discovered an alien vessel, but they were now face to face with a functioning artificial intelligence from another world. Maya stepped forward, her scientist's instinct overriding caution. "Hello, HFY. We're not a recovery team. We're humans from Earth. We discovered your ship by accident during climate research." HFY's holographic form flickered momentarily. "Processing information. Situation assessment in progress." After a pause that felt eternal, it continued. "I understand. The Horizon's emergency beacon must have failed. The Novan Alliance is unaware of our location." "Novan Alliance?" Raj asked. "Who are they? Where are they from?" The Novan Alliance comprises 17 spacefaring species from what you would call the Orion arm of the Milky Way galaxy. Our nearest outpost is approximately 38 light-years from your solar system. "What happened to your crew?" Lieutenant Larson asked. Area's form dimmed slightly. The Horizon suffered catastrophic drive system failure while conducting research in the solar system. Emergency protocols directed the vessel to the nearest compatible environment for repairs. Unfortunately, damage was too severe for self-repair. The 12 crew members entered emergency stasis, but life support systems failed after 2.7 of your years. There were no survivors. The team exchanged glances, the magnitude of this discovery sinking in. "HFY." Maya asked carefully, what kind of research was the Horizon conducting? Primary mission parameters involved cataloging biological diversity on developing worlds. Earth was designated a Category 3 protected planet, a world with emerging intelligence but pre-spaceflight civilization. Direct contact was prohibited under Novan Alliance ethical directives. Captain Monroe stepped forward. "And yet here you are." "The crash was an accident, not intended contact," HFY clarified. "Emergency protocols prioritized crew survival over non-interference directives." Over the next several days, Maya's team established a more permanent research facility inside the ship. Government officials arrived from a dozen countries, each claiming priority access to the vessel. Somehow, Maya maintained her position as lead scientific liaison, partly because HFY seemed most responsive to her inquiries. The ship's technology was centuries beyond Earth's capabilities. Quantum computing systems that made Earth's most advanced supercomputers look like abacuses, material sciences that defied known physics. Most tantalizing were the medical technologies, devices that could repair cellular damage, regenerate tissue, and potentially cure diseases that had plagued humanity for millennia. The implications are staggering, Maya reported during a video conference with the hastily formed United Nations Extraterrestrial Research Committee. The technological applications alone could advance human civilization by centuries. What Maya didn't mention was her growing concern about certain restricted areas of the ship. HFY had been forthcoming about most systems, but remained evasive about several sealed laboratories and a heavily secured data core. Those sections contained classified research, HFY explained when pressed. Access restricted to Level 1 personnel. On the 10th day of exploration, Maya was documenting an alien propulsion system when alarms blared throughout the ship. HFY's holographic form appeared, its usual calm demeanor replaced by urgent intensity. "Alert! Long-range sensors detect multiple Novan vessels entering your solar system. Automated emergency beacon has activated." "What? How?" Maya demanded. "You said the beacon was damaged." "Dormant systems have been gradually repairing since reactivation. The emergency protocol completed a bypass of damaged communication arrays approximately 6 hours ago." Maya rushed to the control center where global military representatives had established a command post. Satellite feeds confirmed what ARIA had reported, multiple objects decelerating from impossible speeds at the edge of the solar system. 7 vessels identified, ARIA announced. Configuration indicates 5 escort craft and 2 diplomatic cruisers. Estimated arrival at Earth orbit, 16 hours. The room erupted in chaos as military commanders shouted orders into secure channels. Defense systems worldwide went to highest alert. Can you communicate with them? Maya asked ARIA. Affirmative. Communication channels are opening. The central holographic display shifted, revealing an alien figure. Though humanoid in basic shape, the differences were striking. Iridescent blue-green skin, 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern, and a frame that stood nearly 7 feet tall. When it spoke, the words were translated seamlessly by ARIA systems. Attention inhabitants of designation E3921. Classification Earth. I am High Commander Vexalia of the Novan Alliance Fleet. You have discovered one of our vessels. We have come to retrieve it. Prepare for diplomatic contact in 16 hours. Any attempt to conceal or damage Novan property will be considered an act of aggression. The transmission ended, leaving Earth with less than a day to prepare for its first official extraterrestrial contact. And the aliens didn't seem happy. Cosmic bargain. The world changed overnight. News of the approaching alien fleet leaked despite government efforts at containment. Global financial markets crashed, then froze. Religious leaders issued conflicting statements, some claiming vindication, others declaring the end times. Riots erupted in major cities while others saw mass prayer gatherings. At the Arctic Research Station, Maya worked frantically to understand as much about the Novans as possible before they arrived. ARIA, tell me about Novan diplomatic protocols. What should we expect? The A's holographic form hovered beside her. The Novan Alliance uses standardized first contact procedures for pre-spaceflight civilizations. Under normal circumstances, contact would be gradual, extending over decades to minimize cultural shock. These aren't normal circumstances, Maya pointed out. Correct. The discovery of the horizon creates an exceptional scenario. The Novans will likely send a mixed delegation. Diplomatic corps supported by scientific and military personnel. Will they be hostile? General Williams of the United States Space Force asked bluntly. ARIA paused before answering. The Novan Alliance avoids direct conflict when possible. However, they consider their technology proprietary and will insist on complete return of the vessel and all derived knowledge. Maya exchanged worried glances with Raj. Earth governments had already begun extracting and analyzing alien technology. Research teams worldwide were dissecting components removed from the ship. That's not going to happen, Williams stated flatly. This technology is too valuable. Maya continued her questioning. ARIA, what happens to civilizations that refuse Novan demands? Another pause, longer this time. Historical records indicate varied outcomes. Economic isolation is common. In extreme cases, limited military action to secure Novan interests. As the 16-hour deadline approached, Maya made a disturbing discovery while reviewing data from the ship's restricted sections. Using access codes she carefully documented over days of observation, she bypassed several security protocols and accessed fragments of the classified research data. "Oh my God," she whispered, reading the translated files. "Reg, come see this." The Horizon hadn't been on a simple biological survey mission. It had been conducting unauthorized genetic experiments using Earth species, experiments that violated the Novan Alliance's own ethical guidelines and several interstellar treaties. They're not just coming to retrieve their ship, Maya realized. They're coming to cover up evidence. With 6 hours remaining before the Novan arrival, Maya was summoned to an emergency meeting with Earth's hastily assembled diplomatic team. Representatives from major world powers sat around a conference table, faces grim. "We've established communication with the Novan fleet," announced UN Secretary General Adeyemi. They're demanding immediate surrender of the vessel and all technology we've removed from it. They've also demanded a full accounting of everyone who has had access to the ship. That's concerning, Maya said. I've discovered information that suggests the Horizon was conducting illegal research. The Novans may be attempting to eliminate evidence and witnesses. The revelation sent shockwaves through the room. Military representatives immediately suggested leveraging this information as a countermeasure. If we threaten to expose their violations to other alien civilizations, began the Russian representative. We have no way to contact other alien civilizations, Maya interrupted, and threatening a species with vastly superior technology seems unwise. What do you suggest, Dr. Chen? Asked Secretary General Adeyemi. Maya took a deep breath. I believe I can negotiate with them. With ARIA's help, I've learned enough about Novan culture to approach this diplomatically. But I need autonomy to make decisions quickly. After heated debate, Maya's proposal was accepted with conditions. She would lead the diplomatic team, but military forces worldwide would remain on high alert. When the Novan ships entered Earth orbit, they made no aggressive moves. Instead, they established a stable position and requested coordinates for a landing party. A site was prepared adjacent to the buried ship. Maya stood at the designated landing zone, surrounded by a small team of scientists and diplomats. Military forces remained hidden but ready. The Novan shuttle descended silently, a sleek vessel that seemed to bend light around its hull. When it landed, a ramp extended and 6 figures emerged. 5 clearly security personnel flanking a central figure that Maya recognized from the transmission as High Commander Vexalia. The alien delegation approached until they stood 10 meters away. Up close, the physical differences were even more striking. The Novans moved with fluid grace despite the heavy gravity of Earth compared to their homeworld. Dr. Maya Chen, Vexalia spoke, the words translated through a device at their throat. I am authorized to negotiate for the return of Novan property. Maya stepped forward. High Commander, Earth welcomes the Novan Alliance. We hope this unexpected contact can lead to peaceful relations between our worlds. Peace is always preferable, Vexalia acknowledged. However, your world has accessed technology beyond your development stage. This creates dangerous imbalances. We discovered the ship by accident, Maya explained, and have treated it with respect. Nevertheless, all Novan technology must be returned immediately. Our scans indicate components have been removed from the vessel. These must also be surrendered, along with any data derived from them. Maya took a calculated risk. Before we proceed, I'd like to discuss the nature of the Horizon's mission. Our analysis indicates it was conducting genetic research on Earth species, research that appears to violate Novan Alliance Directive 15C regarding interference with developing worlds. Vexalia's 4 eyes narrowed simultaneously. Your access to restricted information is concerning. It further emphasizes the need for complete technological return. We have documented everything we found, Maya continued, including transmissions between the Horizon and what appears to be a military research division, not officially acknowledged in Novan records. It was a bluff. They hadn't decoded that much information, but Maya watched carefully for a reaction. The security personnel shifted positions slightly. Vexalia remained motionless, but a subtle color change rippled across their skin. These matters are internal to the Alliance, Vexalia stated flatly. Perhaps, Maya agreed. But we've learned enough about galactic politics to understand that other spacefaring civilizations might find this information interesting. The implied threat hung in the air. After a long moment, Vexalia spoke again. You position your species in matters beyond your understanding. The consequences could be severe. Or, Maya countered, this could be an opportunity for mutual benefit. Earth doesn't want conflict. We want knowledge, understanding, and a peaceful place in the greater galactic community. She gestured toward the research facility. We propose an alternative arrangement. Earth will return the Horizon and assist in its recovery. In exchange, the Novan Alliance will establish legitimate diplomatic relations with Earth and provide limited technological exchange, medical and environmental technologies that would benefit humanity without disrupting our natural development. Such an arrangement contradicts standard protocols for pre-spaceflight civilizations, Vex'Alia objected. Standard protocols became irrelevant the moment the Horizon crashed here, Maya pointed out. We can either forge a new relationship based on mutual respect, or we can begin our interstellar relations with conflict and distrust. For several minutes, Vex'Alia consulted privately with their team. Finally, they returned their attention to Maya. Your proposal has merit, though modifications will be required. The Alliance cannot provide military or advanced propulsion technology. However, certain medical, agricultural, and environmental technologies could be shared within carefully defined parameters. Over the next 48 hours, Maya and Vex'Alia negotiated terms for humanity's first interstellar agreement. The Horizon would be returned to the Novans, along with most removed technology. In exchange, Earth would receive knowledge in specific domains and formal recognition as a protected developing civilization with provisional diplomatic status. As the Novan vessels prepared to depart with the recovered ship, Maya stood with Vex'Alia overlooking the massive excavation. Your species acted with unexpected wisdom, the alien commander acknowledged. Most developing civilizations would have chosen differently. We nearly did, Maya admitted. But sometimes the greatest strength is knowing when not to fight. Vex'Alia's translation device conveyed what might have been amusement. Perhaps that is why the genetic researchers were so interested in your species. You are unpredictable. Will we see the Alliance again? Maya asked. Sooner than would normally be permitted. The protocols have been irreversibly broken. A permanent diplomatic presence will be established within 1 of your years. Maya watched as the massive alien vessel was carefully extracted from the ice that had entombed it for 7 decades. The operation took hours, powerful Novan technology reversing the damage time had inflicted. One question before you leave, Maya said. The Horizon crashed here 70 years ago. That means you've known about Earth for decades. Why didn't you come sooner? Vex'Alia was silent for a moment. The Horizon's mission was unauthorized. Its location remained unknown until your people activated its systems. But surely you searched for it. The official records indicated the vessel was lost in deep space, nowhere near your world. Some records, Dr. Chen, are deliberately misleading. As the Novan ships departed Earth orbit, humanity began the difficult task of integrating the knowledge they'd gained. The world had changed forever, not through invasion or conquest, but through an accidental discovery and a negotiation that recognized mutual interests despite vast differences. 6 months later, Maya received a secure communication from the newly established Novan outpost on Europa. A research exchange program was being formed. Earth could nominate 10 scientists to study at Novan facilities. Maya smiled as she read the message. Humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning.